Let's move on to the following talk entitled the Applying Agile Models to Projects Related to Technology. This is in charge. We will hear Carlos Valle from Kaizen company. Carlos Valle is an engineer in aeronautical manufacturing from Mexico, and he has many years of experience as a business process consultant, SAP consultant, and process ERP. His experiences in the industry is about process manufacturing, value chain processes, and virtualization in SAP suites as a solution architect and consultant in topics about food, publicity, agro-industry, textile industry, transportation, among others. So he has experience in several sectors. And currently he is consulting manager in the company Kaizen Consultors. Good morning, Carlos. Welcome. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Hello, good morning to all. So I'll be sharing my screen, so just let me know if you can see it, please.
Not yet.
You can see it now?
Not me, maybe.
No, we can see it.
No yet. Okay, I'll do it again. Now you can see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'll give you a brief of what we're seeing in this half an hour. We are going to see how is, for example, the theoretical part of the Agile methodology, but we are also seeing how can we apply it? What's the experience of having an Agile project, in this case, as a client, as a provider, and also as an integrator. In this case, for SAP projects and also for consultancy projects. So if we're ready to go, I'll help you getting to know the methodology. What's the important part so we can know if we are ready or if Agile methodology is what we need? We have to take in conscious this methodology is for evolving or in continuous growth solutions. In other words, incremental developing. This is a product that it's not a final product. Every day it's changing. Every day we are looking to add value, and this methodology is think for all the companies that are continuous changing. Normally, all the products has to be evolving, has to be getting better, has to be growing in efficiency, in cost efficiency, in risk efficiency. So this is why we use this methodology. As Antonio told, there's a really important word in Agile methodology, and it's the iteration. We're working with done iterations. What's an iteration? As just Antonio told, is an amount or a quantity of certain story points that we defined as an stint. The important value of this methodology is that this iteration and the story points will help us know the scope of that moment. Normally is between 2 weeks and 2 months. And also we have to put or add value to the product. This is like the way this methodology works. We are always going to add value in a short stint. Normally the stints are things that in the first iterations we have to add the more value we can, because this will help us have this input of the client so the product still all the way long still growing. Sorry. Every iteration has 6 phases: planning, analysis, design, codification, testing, and documentation. Normally, it is think that Agile projects are undisciplined projects because there's not that much of a documentation such as waterfall. Normally here in the methodology is face-to-face. Imagine you're coding and you know you have versions, you have all these betas. Imagine if we have to documentate all, we're losing time, valuable time for the product. So in this face-to-face, we are all in touch with the product. We can all have a hand in the product and make the product better. I'll go to planning. What's planning in these meetings? Normally we have every week meeting, and we're looking at scope, risk, and complexity. But we're not looking at as hours, as Antonio told. We are having story points because we need to measure uncertainty. In the hours, what happens normally? If I give you hours, normally I have these security factors so that I don't miss or I don't hit wrongly. Here, the uncertainty we are using is as a part of planning, but this uncertainty, if things start getting clear as we start getting the client or the key user involved, this uncertainty will use this time or these story points given to uncertainty, we can use it to refactoring or to give value added to the product. Normally the meetings, these week meetings, are for status and problem solving. There's also in the methodology, there's two words that are really important: respect and courage. In which why I tell these words. Respect is I have to respect the work of others. If I found a mistake in the coding, or if the coding can get better, I'll do it. And also the courage. So if the coding is not what I've been needed, or as the iterations are continuously improving, I found that what I code or what I construct is not what we are looking for. The courage just to throw it again and start with a new iteration to give value to the client. The horizon, as I told you, is between 2 weeks and 2 months normally, depending of the subdivision or the subgroup of Agile projects I'm using, such as XP, such as Scrum, Kanban. The magic of this is that there's not only one methodology that can be used. For example, in this case, the part of the Scrum is to make the project and the product with more efficiency. And for example, the XP, the extreme programming, is to add the most value to the product. Kanban is to have all the flows, all the charts in a graphic way, so I can use multiple methodologies to deploy the best product. Now, also as Antonio told, teams POV. Here, normally in a waterfall methodology, every expert has its own process, and he works all the way along the process without involving with all the team to get to know the risk, to get to know the complete scope. So all perspectives are taken in account. As Antonio told, if I have story points of 8, story points of 5, I have different experiences, different soft skills, different points of view of how can a problem be solved. In this case, for example, in the extreme programming, there's a task or a methodology called pair programming, where there's two people coding the same solution or solving the same problem. Why? Because the two people thinks better than one. And also, when we are coding, we can find some better ways to code or some lean coding to help the other one get a better coding and refactor the capability and the efficiency of the coding. We have to have synergy. We have to be committed to the team. Here, Agile projects needs really this motivation factor to everyone, so to get involved with the solution, so we can have the best solution available. Also, as we all have a hand in the coding, we have the whole case. We have the product understanding, and we can do better our part. The commitment. we are not looking for a project. We are product emphasized. We are centered in the better product, in a product of value. There has to be discipline. There has to be multitasking. There's not like waterfall methodologies that if I have to solve something, there's only one person who can help me. And if he's in the process, I have to wait and we're losing time. Here with the multitasking, as everyone knows the product and everyone is getting involved in the product, we can have quicker solutions. Here, the agile is having flexibility, having the capability to adapt and also to be quick. We need quick solutions. We need value added at all time, and we need tangibles. There's not the issue that after, for example, in a waterfall methodology, after 6, 8, 1 year month, 1 year project, when the key user or the final client gets to know the product, he's he like he's discontent because that's not what he was waiting for, or there were gaps, or the coding has not the critical quality assurance. So with these stints and these done iterations, we're getting sure to have a tangible, to have the user experience, to do this quality assurance, to do this training, this testing, so we can ensure we're having the product we're looking for. And also the on time. We're running on time, so as we need tangibles, the team has to be delivered on time, and the deployment has to be really emphasized on the product. There's also in the part of courage, of the courage thinking, is maybe I can't find the solution today because it's really a difficult problem to solve, but I have to have the courage to make sure I'm having the solution tomorrow. This is about the commitment. The part of standardizing, that standardizing in measurement is everything. When all we can have the same language, we can have the same comprehension of what we're doing, we're going to a good way. We have to define things. There's a maximum of story points. These story points will tell us the experience of how experienced does the group has to be, the volume of people contributing to this stint, and also the defined stints will give you our deadlines. We have to have a product quality. In the methodology, the product is all. We're not looking all for a dumb process. We're looking for quality tangibles. Also clear scope and also continuous improvement. As I told you, this is incremental developing. So the product every day has to be better. Multidiscipline teams. We have collaborative teams, dynamic teams. They can change. If in an iteration I was doing the testing and tomorrow we need the training, I can change from being a tester to being a trainer because I know the product. I know how it's been coding. I have been coding with all the team, so I can change my role, my function in the project. And also we need complete involvement with the project and the product. One of the central points here is normally I'm the expert or I have the expertise in developing, in coding, but I'm not expert in every process. So when we involve the client or the key user, we are having that value added because he is the expert in the process. He's the one who's going day on day with the process, working with making better the process, automating the process, and having the best efficiency in every process. So in product value center, we always have a better product because it's convenient for both parts, for the client and for us. We have on-live user experience. So as the product is being delivered, the tangibles, these stints, the user can interact with the product and can give us value information to add to the product, to refactor the product, or to do changes to the product so the product has the quality assurance and also has the compliance we need. Valuable data to improve. As the client is involved, he knows the product also. He wants the product to be better, and he's giving us these quality inputs. He's giving us these insights, and in the next iteration, we can have this product get better. and the completed requirements. Normally, what happens when I have the requirements, I have these interviews. They give me a specific scope, but as we are giving tangibles, people can get notice about risk, about quality controls we have to do, about automation rules we have to implement. So we are having this product as a tangible, and we're doing it better at every time. Flexibility and capacity to adapt. This is the most important about agile products. If we want to be agile, we have to be flexible. We have to have the capacity to adapt to a new scope, to a new rule, or to a new process. So new things are done without equations. We have to work with quickness. We have to be product centered, and also the structural team. It's gonna be changing. So we have to have the capability and the involvement, so we can do our best with our task. And also, there's no final product. It's gonna be always better and better and better. Stints define maximum points. As I said, we're measuring effort. Short terms with available testable and usable product. That's the agile insight, to have tangibles, to have product that can be tested in 2 weeks, in 1 month, so we can get to know if we are doing the good way. And also now we've changed from database interface to user interface, and now we're exploring user experience. Now all the solutions have to be centered in user experience. There's a learning curve. So if the user is involved with the solution, we're gonna have the best radio in this curve of learning. But if the user is not motivated, if the user is not willing to use the product, this product will be obsolete. Will tend to be not. There's not this situation where the product can be really good, but if the user is not involved, we are not getting a better product, and the product is not gonna be used. So if it's not gonna be used, it will be obsolete, or simply it will be hard to train again, so that the user can get to know the solution or the software the best way. And we have defined deadlines for a value addition. We have to add value every stint. Normally, as I told you, they criticize this methodology as an informal methodology because there's no documentation. Yeah, normally there's no papers, but we have the documentation of the fixed values, of the fixed processes, because that processes can't be changed. They have to be the base of everything. So we document only the most important values. Like if we're building the house, we're not building, for example, we're not documenting the paint, but we are documenting for sure all the weight that the house can deliver. Product validations. We are doing product validations every time. As the user gets the input to deliver, we're having validations, quality validations. As I told you, also Scrum and all meetings have to be face to face. This will commit the group and give us discipline. Now, as I've covered all the theoretical part, all the methodology, I'm gonna give you my experience as a client. As a client using these kind of methodologies, we have better ratio between expected and deployed. Normally, it's even better. What they expected to what is deployed, it's a better product than what the client was expecting. We have accurate field rates. We have on-time deployment, which translates to cost and satisfaction, better product than what the initial scope was, and we can have a better service. As everyone knows the product, we can give this service to the client. And also in the commercial way, as the vendor has the knowledge, there's product being delivered, it gives us a best relationship with the client. Because like there's no phase to be closed, there's a tangible, and if the tangible has been delivered, the iteration has been done. That's my experience as a client. Now my experience as an integrator. It's really simple. The simplicity we have without all these documentations, with the tangibles being delivered, we can have as an integrator the solutions, the SOA, the SOA, we can deliver, we can connect, and we can have the full solution or the integral solution. We have functional teams. So these functional teams can work between solutions, better responsibilities management. As we define in the iteration, just the function, not really the person, we can have this responsibilities management and this flexibility in the group to have a better solution. And we have improved communication because we don't have to have these modification notes. We're gonna get loose in the versions. If we're looking what was changed 3 months ago, it's really hard to find the documentation. For not mattering how good the project management is, as a product change, if we have these face-to-face communications, we know where the product is going. And now as a supplier, I have more success cases. I have integral solutions, control expenses and costs, giving us better margins and easygoing deployments, and also good references. The part of testing. As I told you, there's value added instantly and risk are diminished. The learning curve is accelerated. We can have a better front end in development and the user experience is improved. And also we have a better base for training. As we've done the testing in the final product or in the version that they're gonna use, we don't have this utopical training where we give standard solutions or we're having untangible products where we have to imagine how it's going to work. So when we train, as they've done the testing in the final product, it's really easy for the training. Now the go live. How do we do the deployment? As I said, the go live product deployed is closer to the final version. So the adjustment and the refactoring in the coding is not as high as normally in other methodologies. We have less support tasks because now the concepts are clear, the product is clear, so we don't have to have these issues with support because users don't know or don't get too used to the product. The user is familiarized with the product because he only is looking for the last iteration, not for all the project to be delivered in only one phase. And the value attached to the knowledge and the usage of the product. So as I said, we can add this time that we normally give to support to get to know for the user to get the whole product. We can add this time to value add to the product. Now the topic we're having agile methodology in digital transformation. The technologies applied. We know normally we are in digital transformation, but it's not just IT. There is a bigger gap. As you know, every solution, every software, it depends on the input and how we comprehend the process. So there's a bigger gap. Why? Because normally the process aren't being documented or aren't being well understood. So that's why I said there's a bigger gap. It's not just digitalizing or it's not just doing automation. There's a gap of working in a consultancy and having the process well understood. So when we're talking about digital transformation, we're thinking about automation and we're thinking about digitalizing and virtualizing. But there's a work that has to be done before. And it's understanding the processes, making sure that the user knows the process and is doing the best efficient way of the process. That's why in digital transformation, one of the keywords is consultancy. It's not just about virtualizing services. We have to get to know all the processes, and also one of the values we are getting out of these agile methodologies is the capacity of tropicalizing. As you have heard at the beginning, I work in different industries. So with agile methodologies, we can have experts of different industries adding value and best practices to new industries. The agile methodology, as you've asked to Antonio, is not only for development. It can be to tropicalize solutions and projects, such as measurement. We can have these story points. We can have these multidisciplinary teams. We can have this respect. We can have this courage. We can have the Scrum. We can have the Kanban. We can have the acceleration, the efficiency, the quickness in any project or any construction we're doing, any architecture we're having made. We can implement this kind of methodology as thinking to just add value at all time. Don't plan for 1 year when we know every project has changes every minute. So we cannot plan with that huge horizon. We have to adapt. We have to be adding value in stints, and we have to be capable to be flexible to give the best solution. We have to have better software and processes, and we have to be capable of evolving. That's all of the presentation. I don't know if you have some doubts.
Thank you, Carlos, for your excellent presentation. Let's move to the questions and answers sessions. We have a couple of questions by now. If all of you have any question for Carlos, please write it down in the chat. The first point that we have here is about if you can elaborate. That is a question from myself.
Okay.
If you can elaborate a little bit about the concept of on-life user experience. Is it about learning by doing, or it refers to about client involvement and satisfaction?
User experience is more of how the user interacts with the solution. If I'm making it simpler, if I'm making it quicker, if the user is happy to be involved with the experience, if the framework is a friendly framework, if he can if he's only having 1 or 2 clicks to get to the information, or if he has to do like a long task to get to the final destination. So it's giving the user this involvement and this friendly environment, so he can feel sure about using the software. He can feel free to experiment with the software and to have the best value of the software.
Oh, thank you for your answer. We have a second question from Aldo. How do you think Agile can help develop projects with different silos in an organization, probably, or integrating different institutes at the same project?
As I've told, as it's face-to-face, anyone can get involved. As there's a product, a tangible product, anyone can get to know where we are. And we can have like a little demo, a little training, but with the product. So these kind of interactions get the user really involved really quickly, because he gets to know where we are, what are we doing, and in which phase we have to be. And he doesn't have to be involved since the beginning. He only has to be involved in the iteration we are going.
Thank you very much, Carlos, for your answers. We don't have more questions by now. Anyone who has questions can speak. You can write it in Spanish and we can translate it, or you can even speak it in Spanish and we can translate it also. We have still a couple of minutes for more questions. I have another question, Carlos. In your experience, what is the team size that you have participated in projects? About 2, 10, 20 members in the team?
Normally, it depends on the complexity of the software. So I've been in teams of 5 till teams of 40. it depends on the process we're touching, on the solution we're giving, and also on if it's a mid-enterprise, a AAA. So teams are gonna be elaborated since the story points. So if we have clear the story points, now we can develop a team, because we know there's a limited effort that a user can deliver. So with the story points, it's gonna deliver, and also the uncertainty as the product or the processes is clearer. This uncertainty can just help us have slim or lean teams.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you.
maybe we can start with 40, and as this uncertainty is getting clearer, is getting lower, the team doesn't have to be that big.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. We have another question. If you have experience where say the agile approach didn't work, do you have any experience that you can share with us? The reasons why it didn't work? Did you change something and improvements, and did you make it work? The kind of challenges that we can face at the beginning where we start trying to use it, and maybe we can fail. I don't know if you have any experience about situations where this methodology didn't work.
Yeah, normally when we have, as I said, to use the agile methodology, we have to have this iterative and incremental development. When there's a product that doesn't have to have that PLM, the life cycle being changed or being improved, normally agile doesn't work, because we can have the whole planification and just follow the waterfall methodology when we have it all clear, or where the maturity of the process or of the solution, we have a really limited requirement or a really small requirement. And also when the team doesn't have this experience, or doesn't have the commitment, is when you have to analyze which team you are working with. And sometimes it's better just to have everything planned, and just having these long stints, depending on the product, depending on the client, and also depending on your team. Also, mostly as an integrator, depending on the team, you can analyze if the product is going to change, if the product is going to evolve, or if it's a stationary product. If it's a stationary product and the process is mature, and maybe the team is not with the soft skills needed, you can go to a waterfall methodology. But normally we suggest that as everything is changing, that you think of a live product, that you analyze a nice PLM, having this life cycle of the product, and always looking for the product. Maybe we're not changing some of the interface or the front end, but we can make the coding efficiency. We can start looking for faster return of investment. So normally every product is changing, but as you can understand, normally with the consultants or the developers, we can see something, but if the client its needs and requirement is to have a product of just one deliver, maybe the option is not to go with these stints, because also if the project is maybe 2 months or 1 month product, it's a small product, maybe you can think of a waterfall methodology and not an agile methodology.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Can you share your contact information, your email or your LinkedIn address?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we didn't see it in the presentation. Probably we don't have it. Thank you for that. We have another question about what programming languages do you use for your projects? What kind of is on SAP?
Normally, well, there's, as you know, SAP has now HANA. It's not working in SQL. So we normally use ABAP. We normally use
right, ABAP. Yes.
Yeah, we use ABAP in the case of S4HANA. We use SDK for the case of Business One and the lower suite. But now with HANA, we can use with the service layer, we can use any language. So we can have Java, we can have Python, we can have any language, and we connect through APIs. But it's a native connection through HANA and the product or the solution, it's called service layer. This is for SAP. And for what programming do you I use in the project? If an ERP is not involved, we can use any language. That's part of the analysis to get to know which language will help us the most. Also with the maturity level, and also it will be about the capacity of investment of the client, the language we are using. But this methodology can be used with any languages, because the methodology is about the product. It's about giving value, and also it's centered not in the process, but centered in how can we add value to any solution.
Thank you very much again, Carlos. Carlos Valle. If we don't have any more questions, I think we will move to the next session. Thank you very much, Carlos, for your excellent and